already have done 10 consecutive meetings this year, and this is just March. That means that we are doing very well. We've covered a lot already. And for people who want to start some kind of moves, they can start now in terms of application for jobs. If I've actually mastered what we have done, it means that there are some things that you should be able to do now with all confidence that you are fine. And then you can keep on improving yourself when you got on that role. So I will encourage us to make sure that we consistently go back to these recordings, review them, make concrete notes from there, have them close to us, and then see how we can constantly or frequently reference them. And then go to those admin centers with the access you already have and see how you can explore the system to see what's coming up on a daily basis. And one document that still remains standing out for anyone who's learning this skill is the Microsoft Learn doc. So you can go back to the Microsoft Learn and update your skills every day. That said, we would commence by me presenting my screen in a bit. This and screen. Okay. So with the belief that my screen is visible, I will be dropping my headsets and then we commence proper. So as it is right now, we have dealt a lot with Microsoft Teams last week, and we said to access Microsoft Teams, you go to teams.microsoft.com, and then that will give you access to the client portal of Microsoft Teams. And then if you want to access the admin center, it means that you need to have the admin rights in order to be able to access the admin center. So last week we dealt with notifications, we dealt with message or chats, we dealt with SIM, and then we created SIM. We also did what's it called? We have two types of SIMs. One is public SIM. The second is private SIM. The third one is the third one that you can see is White SIM. So I would say that White SIM really is a SIM, is a public SIM. But the point is that it automatically gets people added in your organization as you are creating the team. And we say for each organization, you can only have a maximum of 5 White SIM for the whole organization. I think when you have 500,000 employees, you can no longer create White SIM because I think it increases beyond, you can verify this fact, beyond the number of persons that can be added to a team. So you will have the option to create White team disappear for you. So the point is that it is only global administrators that can create White teams. So while users are allowed to create teams, none, even SharePoint admin, even Teams administrator will be able to create an White team. So for you to be able to create an White team, you must be a global administrator. However, if let's say one global administrator has created 5 White teams, and then you want to create an White team, you will not see that function or that feature because already in your environment, you have 5 organization-wide teams in existence already. So that is how the operation actually happens, right? So that's how it's happening in organizations, right? So I think the next thing we just need to look at briefly is calendar, right? Calendar is actually where you schedule your meetings in Teams. So you can see this calendar here, and up here is where you can click on new meeting, or if you want the meeting to be immediately, you click on this to meet now. And then if you want the meeting to be scheduled, as the case may be, you come to this drop down. You can create a webinar, you can create a town hall meeting, you can create a virtual appointment or live events. So if you just come over and then you just click on this plus here, what you are going to do is you are scheduling a meeting that you need to give it a title, like what the meeting we are right now is titled TMCC Virtual Meetup, right? So so you put a title here. Let's say that yeah. So cloud tech test meeting attendees, this is where you type in the email address of both your internal users and your external users. So internal users are people within your organization, while external users are people who are outside of your organization. So having set the people, let's say for example, I'm bringing in this user, right? Once I'm bringing in Paul into this meeting, I'll have the option to add more people, right? Can add more people to this by just coming here. So if I have somebody outside the organization, I must have to type in the full email address. So I would not have to say admin at maybe pillarsconcepts.onmicrosoft.com, pillarsconcept.com.ng. I'll just have to select the person. I can also invite a Gmail account. Depends on what the case is, right? I can invite Gmail accounts. Then here is where I will set the time I want that meeting to occur. If the meeting is Monday tomorrow, what time? Is it morning? Then I'll check. It's maybe in the morning around. So this is where you actually flip through the timing. So let's say I'm trying to look for 8 a.m. Yeah, 8 in the morning, and then how long is the meeting going to last? By default, the meeting sets for 30 minutes, but you can extend the meeting to run for 24 hours. And if someone who's supposed to leave the meeting decides to remain in the meeting after one day, that is 24 hours, then the person is dropped off the meeting by default. So this is important, right? So that you don't just set indefinite meeting. However, even if you set this meeting for 30 minutes, it can still run for the 24 hours. What will just happen is that few minutes to the number of time, the quantity of time allotted for the meeting, then it automatically brings up a message on the notification bar to say you have 5 minutes left to round off this meeting. And even if you don't round off, it's not automatically going to kick you off. It will just continue. So if you look at the significant difference I wanted to point out here, you see when I looked at that tomorrow, Paul is free, Benga is free. So if, for example, Benga had a meeting scheduled for tomorrow by 8 o'clock, it will show me red symbol busy at that time. Okay, they show me red symbol to show that Benga is going to be busy at that time. But if you look at this, Joseph and this other person, they are external users. So their status, present status is not showing. So present status, again, just the same way that we talked about guest access in Teams chat without the attachment option. This is another thing you need to point out for your external users. The free busy, the calendar free busy is only available for internal users. For external, you would not see free busy in terms of calendar. Then if it's a meeting that you want to schedule and you probably, tomorrow is Monday, you probably have that meeting to be coming up like a catch-up meeting that's coming up every Monday, right? You can do weekly. If it's coming up a meeting that is like what do they call this kind of meeting? Huddle, like that you do every morning when you resume work. You just do like a briefing, job briefing, in terms of the tasks that you have for the day. It can be a recurring meeting on the daily. So you're going to pick daily, right? You're going to pick daily. Then if it is weekly that it happens, that you have that meeting, you can do weekly. If it is monthly, you can do monthly. If it is yearly, you can do yearly. If none of this fits into your recurrence, you can click on custom, and then you can really say repeat every, maybe you want to put it as, this is one, right? You want to put it at maybe 2 days, right? Every 2 days, that is from Monday, then Tuesday will be off, then Wednesday. Then if you want it to be 3 days, every 3 days, you can put it there. Then if you want it to be like every 3 weeks, you can put it there, every 3 weeks. Then if you want it to be every 3 months, you can put it there, every 3 months. Then you can now say, okay, if that is the case, is the meeting going to be like forever, or like you have an end date where after the project is to last for, let's say, 1 year, but every 3 months you are going to be having a meeting to track the progress of the meeting. You can say, okay, it's going to end after 1 year, and that's to say that maybe you come to your calendar to say it's going to end in maybe December, right, 2020 or January 2026. So what it means is that between this time and this time, every 3 months, you're going to be having a pop-up meeting, automatic, to say that you have a meeting scheduled to discuss the project that you just selected. However, if the meeting is not a recurring meeting, you can just leave it, right? If you want to invite a channel, like a whole channel of a team to the meeting, apart from you adding individual, you can also come to add a channel. You can skip this individual part and just come to add a channel. That if it's a whole team that wants to attend that meeting, as the case may be, right? You can just go ahead, pick up the team, pick up the channel, and then it means that everybody in this channel is just going to get this meeting invite. And then if there are notes that you want to add, so that if they get this meeting invite, you want to introduce them to what you want to discuss, you can put it here. So this is going to be coming up under their Outlook to just say, hello team, as per this arrangement, we are going to be doing X, Y, and Z. Then this is agenda. So this is where you list what you want to do, right? The content of what you want to cover in the course of your meeting. This is where you're going to add a task, add them, assign them to people within the meeting. If you want to put a follow-up task on it. Then for the meeting notes, it will always come up here. Then for the agenda, here's what you want to list. And if there's anybody within the meeting that you want to give like a particular function to, you can just say, okay, this particular topic, Paul will handle, this particular, this one will handle, this particular, this will handle, so that there'll be like a very nice flow. And this actually leverages on the Microsoft loop. So that's how that is. So once you find with the meeting, right, you can just come up here and then hit on send, and then the meeting will just go. So apart from you scheduling this meeting, right? So if you come to this meet now option is just going to be the name meeting with this. So you can decide now to just say quick catch up or something. If something just changed, then you just want to quickly call people's attention, you can start the meeting. So if I click on join now, it's going to put this to my own call that we are on right now on hold, which I don't want to do. So I've just cancelled. So but the point is that you can quickly start up a meeting here immediately without schedule. That is called ad hoc meeting, ADHOC meeting. So that's for that. And then if you come here, you also have option to schedule a webinar. So a webinar is for you to set up a situation where people from within or outside of the organization would have to register to get notification on webinars, and then If it's for people only in your organization, you can put it here. If it's for people outside and inside, you can put it here so that you can set what you want, enable attendees. So what happens is that these people schedule these webinars and then they come to register, provide their details. So while doing that, you can go to the presenter bio. You can come to the presenter bio. Just trying to see that I saved that one first, just to walk you through how it works. Presenter's bio. That is, if you want to put a detail for the presenter, to be able to add the bio to the presenter, first add the presenter. So I must have added, a presenter to that from the details of the meeting, right? So presenter, maybe I just want to bring up this guy as presenter. I can also bring this guy as another presenter. And then what I will do is, once I do that, and then I come down here, right, I can just save item match, right? And then the next thing I do, presenter's bio. So what it means is that this is the bio of this presenter. If I have their LinkedIn profile, this is just because people from outside who are joining, or even within the organization, will be able to know who these persons are. What company does it work? What's his LinkedIn profile? You can see how important LinkedIn is here. Twitter is here as well, right? Then personal website. So if the guy has a website, so you can put it there. What company does it work? I mentioned that earlier. This is going to be his email address. You can't change that. Then you can now write a description on him here at the bio. So to do that, you can click on save, right? So after putting all this detail, you can click on save, and then people can see that. Then theming is where, for example, you have like a picture for the event that you want people to be able to see when they are registering. This is a default Microsoft image. Of course, you can decide to just do this and just change the color, the shed. You can also click on this, and then what you do is you choose another image, and then you can go right into your PC. I don't know what this is. And then you can bring something up there. And then let's say, for example, it's a webinar for the Church of Christ. So you can just put the Church of Christ there, and I can put something like this, right? So that is going to be like what they are going to see when people from outside want to register for the webinar. Then the registration, again, I'll just come here, and then configuration of the registration. What's the capacity? So the maximum capacity is 1K. You can reduce it, but 1K is okay for event capacity. Then the form they're going to fill, what is the detail I'm going to collect from them? I'm going to collect their, do I need their address? Maybe I need their city, right? Then I need their city, I need their industry, then I need to know the organization they are coming from. So if you want to customize another message you want to collect from them, you can put it at maybe a text input to say, please input your WhatsApp number. WhatsApp number. So I think I need to put an S here. Then once that is done, of course, I can decide to come to employee status. I'll have to save that first. Come to attendee status, then nobody has registered yet. That's how you see this. Then the email address, if people start coming in, and then how do I want them to have it? Attendee registration, they should be able to get a mail immediately they submit. Pending approval, so if they also have pending approval, attendee rejection, then webinar cancellation. So if somebody cancels webinar, if I cancel the webinar, they should be able to know that the webinar has been cancelled. Webinar date, time update, should update the date and time of the webinar after scheduling it. They should be able to. Then this one is webinar reminder. So when the webinar is about to start, like an hour to that that period, they're going to get a mail to say, hey, you have like an event coming up soon, right? Then events recording available as soon as it is published, then the recording is just going to be available. Then the report part is where you get people who are already registering for the event, which we are going to have as a test today now. So the recording, so if the event was recorded, we also have the recording here. Then connected apps, if there are apps you want to use for the events. We'll come to the details. So the webinar is just maybe now that the image we have there is Church of Christ webinar, right? So that is there, and these are the dating, so you can come to check the date and it's fine, right? So if that is good, I'll just click on publish, save and publish. So once I save and publish, I can copy, I can say send updates, and then what happens is that I can copy this link. So if I'm going to put this link on the charts, I just want you to quickly fill out that link. So, but before you are filling out, I'm just going to open in private windows as well and fill mine from this browser, because because I have opened it to public. So the webinar is allowing me to open in private mode. So it's going to say Church of Christ webinar, 2 speakers, which are Paul and Benga. So if I have their bio, they'll just be here also. Then there's detailed, was on Sunday, this date, and time is 4:30 p.m. This, and then online events. I can click on register. So what happens if you ask me for my first name? So I'll just say this is my first name. Last name, I'll do this, which I'm expecting you to also be doing from your end. Then email address, I'm going to put my Gmail address here so that you can see the message I'm going to get. Okay, so city, I am in Lagos. Industry, I am in consulting. Organization, I am in then input WhatsApp number. I'm just going to put a random thing. Then you would have to say you have to read if you want to read the condition, and then let's even try to click on register. So if you click on register without accepting the conditions, then we're not going to get. So it's saying that your registration has been processed. We'll send you we send you a confirmation email to this email address. Share the link. So if you want to show with friends, you can decide to go on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn to share. So I haven't done that. I'm just going to check my inbox now and see that if I get that email. So let's see if I get that email. I'm going to do gmail.com. So I'm expecting to see that mail. I'm not even sure what this is. Okay, okay, okay. So this was that test meeting I made. Oh yeah, I know why I got this. So this was that test meeting I made because I invited the channel. So that channel I invited, my guest account is part of it. That's why I got this email that channel was invited. The ABC of Cloud employee, right, was from where I got this email from. This is not the webinar email. I'm expecting that webinar email to enter anytime from now. So let me just check I know it's going to come into my inbox. There's no reason why it should come to spam. Okay, cool. So someone is already confirming that that was seen by when you registered. So I'm just going to drag this to the screen to make you see that. So this is saying hi Y, but this is the name that you imputed. Your spot is reserved for this event, Church of Christ webinar, Sunday. We look forward to sincere. Look forward to this sincerely. Then my name, right? So that's how it happens. So that's how beautiful it is. I'm not sure why I'm not getting my mail. Perhaps I didn't type the mail address correctly, which is likely the case. But we've seen an example of someone who has registered and got that. Right. So I'll minimize this. So now that we have two people registered, so if we come to attendee status now, I would expect to see, okay, other people have, one other person has registered. We have Y or Taboo, right? Which is sending to this Gmail account. Then I also have my email is correct. Gmail, that's correct. So we have Paul also has registered, and then it is this. So if they're submitted other detail, I can decide to look at them. These are like the details they submitted. This guy submitted this industry is IT, financial explicitity, and this is this. So so when guys check typing, I'll read that when I see it. So that is it. So if people have cancelled the registration, I'll also see the list here. But then to see like the comprehensive reports, I will always see that here to see it listed for me in terms of their name, their registration number, and all of that, and the time at which they registered, 3 registered, 0 cancelled. So that's how it's basically work. Your Gmail is showing on notes.com. Thank you. I think that should be the issue. So let me see. I'll just come back. Just curious. So I'll just do it again. Um, so I'm just going to do that again by saying register. So I'm just going to say this. I'm going to do. Okay, so I hope it's gmail.com. So city is Lagos. And then industry is IT, organization is PCT. And then WhatsApp is this. Then I do this, and then I do this. So saying it has sent it, so let's just again check. It's just out of curiosity, nothing more. If you still did not send to me, I will now see what is happening. Okay, so I still have not gotten it. So if it comes eventually, I'll remember to pop it up on the screen. So but that's how it works. People register and then they get this 1 hour before they get. So if you want to start the meet, I think I've got a mail that's just come in. So this is it. So it's saying look at the logo I used there and say you have registered for Church of Christ webinar. Hi Joseph, a spot is reserved for this event. Church of Christ webinar holding on Sunday, 30th of this 2025. We look forward to joining us. And if you want to sign for the event, you can just click on. So if I cancel my registration now, right? So just to show you. So let's say I'm no longer available to attend. It's always better people cancel if they want to. Are you sure you want to cancel your registration? Yes, cancel my registration. So the point is that once we have an upper boundary of 1,000. So if people cancel, it gives spaces for that to be accommodated. So for come now, I will do like cancel. We do like reports again. If you see that cancelled should be one in no time. So let me just do a refresh. I'm not refreshing the browser, otherwise this meeting will to okay, let's hope that I'm not refreshing that browser. Okay, I'm still on. So that said, I will just be coming back to my calendar, and then I will have that webinar showing up here. Where is it? 30th. So where is it? So let's check my calendar again. Let me check my email again. March 30th, 2025, 4:30. So I should see it in my calendar at 4:30. 4:30 today is Monday 30th. That's not it. This is today's calendar. However, that's funny why I am looking for it. Let's see. This is the other test. Yeah, this is the point I wanted to show you. If you see a meeting, you would see this symbol. I'm not sure why the particular one just scheduled. I'm looking for it. But if you look at this place, you will see this symbol here showing your video. And if you look at webinar, it will be like the head of megaphone, right, facing up. That's how to really distinguish between meetings and webinar in your calendar, right? That's how to distinguish meetings and webinar in your calendar. So it's very important that you spot out those differences just so when you are trying to check out your meetings. I didn't intend to spend this long here, but you can try out webinar, right? And then also one of those very nice features is live events, right? Live events is it's very nice. You may want to try it. So live event is like it's going to divide your screen into two, right? So you have the pre-scene. So once you go to the pre-scene, you push it live. You push it live. So it's like for broadcast where you don't have to wait for people to you don't have to, people cannot speak, right? So you just like one-to-many conversation. That's why you use live events. So you can try town halls and all of those. So this is how the calendar looks. And something I must quickly mention is that before you can have the calendar feature in Teams, you must have Exchange Online license. So if you don't have Exchange Online, you will not have calendar in Teams, right? So this is the webinar I was looking for. This is it. So because it's already time for me to join the meeting, you can see it's only the join icon that is activated for me. So, but the feature I wanted to see, I think I'm showing you that this feature here, this key. Remember the webinar is for 4:30 today. This is it. So this is fixing itself into 4:30. So if you look at what is displaying when I put my cursor, it's just there. So apart from you scheduling meeting from calendar, of course, you can schedule meeting from Teams channel, right? So this is general channel. I can schedule meeting from here. You can see this far right hand side. You can see meet now, the same thing that I did, right? That I just have to, everybody will have to just be invited, right? Then if it's a scheduled meeting, if it's a planned meeting, right? Or if it's a meeting I want to plan, I'll just click on the drop down. I'll click on schedule meeting and then I'll give it a title. The same way they repeated the occurrence, everything. But what's the difference between the meeting recording that is scheduled from calendar and the meeting recording that is scheduled from the from Teams channel? There is difference in, especially in terms of where the recording of that meeting is saved. And I must really emphasize that it is important that you know where your meeting recordings are saved, because when someone is telling you that meeting recordings are missing, if you do not know where those meeting recordings are saved, you will be in the state of confusion, because it is important that I mention at this point that meeting recordings that are meetings that are scheduled from calendar have their recordings saved to the OneDrive of the meeting organizer. Okay. Meeting recorded, I'll say that again. Meeting recorded from meeting scheduled from calendar have their recordings saved to the OneDrive of the meeting organizer, while the meetings that are scheduled from Teams channel are saved to the corresponding SharePoint site of the channel. Okay, so now let me just state it here so that we can always remember meetings scheduled from Teams calendar, right? Are saved to the OneDrive folder of the meeting organizer. It is very important that you take note of this. Why? I wanted this to be a bit bold. I think you can see that while meetings scheduled from Teams channel, meetings, I will do this color here. Meetings is very, very, if it's not important, I will not be emphasizing it. Meetings scheduled from Teams channel as saved to the corresponding SharePoint sites. Of the channel. It is very, very paramount that I state these two differences, because when you're looking for recordings of meeting, you should know where to find them. Now, the question, or the very big question, is that how do you search for meeting recording? How do you search for meeting recording? You can look at this place now. So because I'm organizing meetings, right? If I come to my OneDrive, for example, this meeting that we're currently on, I scheduled it, right? So if I come to OneDrive, so if I sign into office.com, I click on these 9 dots, I click on OneDrive, I will get here, right? Then if I click on my files, I will really have a folder, a default folder called recordings. So this is where the recordings of all the meetings are being saved. And I would not want to stress us to even go to like too many things, right? But this is a TMCC virtual mains, TMCC 2025 series. This was March 23rd, which was last Sunday's training. So this is where it is going to get saved. The reason I'm saying this is because if, for example, now you asked me that you need the recording of the last week's training, perhaps if I don't upload anywhere, if you are looking for it, I would have to share this with you. But if, for example, we have organized all ourselves and we're in this tenant, then it will be a waste of time, and sometimes availability issues can come if I'm no longer a user in this tenant. So you may want to, what's the point now? Have the meeting in a channel, a Teams channel, just so the recordings can be saved to the corresponding SharePoint site. The implication of this is that if my account gets deleted, right, depending on the setup that is meant in this organization, you will realize that this data will be deleted also after 30 days. But if you put it on a Teams channel, if I'm leaving an organization deletes my accounts, then the content is still going to remain on the SharePoint site of the channel. And the question is, now I know how to get to the recordings of meetings scheduled from calendar. They are saved to the OneDrive folder of the meeting organizer. Fine, I know. But how do I get to see the recordings of a meeting channel, or of meetings scheduled from channels? So unfortunately, I've not scheduled meeting from any channel here, but that does not mean I cannot show you where to get it. Now, the point is that I want to see, I have a meeting recording. So as a guest, scheduling meeting from from calendar this way, right? I've come into a team. There was a day I was looking for a record and I didn't take cognizance of the dates showing at the recording file. I'm reading from the question on the charts. I was thinking it is the actual dates of the recording showing there, not knowing that it was the day the folder was created till I opened it. Okay, so you have to know that the point here is always showing last date modified. It's last modified is what will always show up here. So you have to be aware of that. Yeah, you have to be aware of that. Very, very important. And then apart from this, if you have access to, the point is that if you have access to this, I'll come back to that question. To have access to the charts, you may be able to see the chart within that period. But if you have a lot of charts and then those charts have disappeared, then it becomes a problem for you to truly locate the recordings of your meetings, right? Now, the point I was raising was, for example, I'm in a channel, and then I am in TMCC Virtual Meetup private channel. So when I schedule meeting from here, I schedule meeting from the general channel, right? What will happen is that the recording is not, even if I'm the one who scheduled it, is never going to get saved to my OneDrive. However, if I click on files, right, inside that channel, this is going to make me also see the recordings of that channel. And then from here, what I would do is I would say open in SharePoint. That's one option for me. Second option is that I'm just waiting for it to load. Second option is that I can just quickly go to SharePoint and open it. So if you look at here, if you are using a smaller screen, you may not see open in SharePoint. You will see like 3 dots. Just click on the 3 dots and then you see open in, just in case you're using your laptop, you see open in SharePoint. So if I click on open in SharePoint, that is the corresponding SharePoint site of that particular channel. And that is like the easiest way to get to the channel, right? So if you come here this way, you can really come to, you can come here. So we are going to still do SharePoint, right? So if I can come here and I go to site content, I'll go to site content, where are you? So in here, I'll be able to see where that recording is saved, right? So I think it's going to be in, I actually have a real practical example to quickly show you. I would have shown you, but it's going to be, I think it's going to be under documents. So I'm not sure if I have a channel that I have a meeting. So you just have that saved to the corresponding SharePoint site. So how you got here was not stressful, just to come here, go to open a SharePoint, and then you will just automatically see yourself here within this place, and that's it. So I would like us to do I would have wanted us to do a test, but if you require me to do a lot of signings, so but you can take that as an assignment for yourself to see how best you can create scenarios like this. Because if you jump on those calls, I'm going to be put on hold. But really, just take note of this that I've shown you. Meeting scheduled from Teams. I'm there to say Teams channel. So I'll click on this again. Teams channel, Teams calendar are saved to the OneDrive folder of the meeting organizer, while meeting scheduled from Teams channel are saved to one. Okay, so save to the corresponding SharePoint site. So that's it. That's for calendar, and then for calls, of course, we will still dwell on this like very well, but I'll just quickly tell you that if you want to call somebody in your organization, you just search for the person here, and then the next thing is to hit on call, right? Once this guy comes up, I hit on call. It's going to put this call on hold, and it will ring him on the one-on-one call. So there's also what is called PSTN call, so this particular call is called SIP call. You can search for user within your organization. You can put the email address of an external user and call the Teams, right? So that is SIP call. Then there's what's called PSTN call. where you call people from Teams by using their phone numbers. So right from here, you can also access OneDrive, and then you can also come to Copilot if you have Copilot license. If there are applications that you want to bring up, you can just click on App, and then if you see the application that you want to use, you can pin it, depend on if you have access, right? So if I have this booking room, if I want to have it, so before application that I know that I can easily add, so you can have this there. Then forms, you can have forms added. So what it's just going to do is to add it to the list of the applications you have there. That is, if each forms is one of those things that you use quite often, you can bring it up. So these are like the access, or what do I call it? What end user, does like almost every other day. So if you're using Power BI, you can just add Power BI to the list of the applications that you have, then added successfully, right? So you can just be doing that to be seeing that the list of applications, so that when you click here, you keep seeing those applications. And then if you want to launch Power BI, for example, you can just click on it. So enough of the end user part. Of course, you can try it yourself and see what you want to look at, right? So, but for us here, we are not end users. So before I move, I need to look at Solomon's question again. There was a day I was looking for a recording. I didn't take cognizance of the date showing at the recording file. I was thinking it is the actual date of recording showing there, not knowing that it was the day the folder was created, till I open it. Like yours showing August 8th. I'm in the recording folder. So I'll come back to that place. Let's see what you have observed. So if I come to my files, and then I come to recording, and it's showing August 18th. So August 18th is probably the date. It's not even probably. I think it is the date that I created my account, right? And perhaps have my first recording also. So it came up here. But I know that this tenant was probation for me in July, right? So, and I was struggling with a lot of things regarding licensing. So this was more like the date that my account was created. But if I attempt to maybe do a modification on which I've not intentionally done before, maybe renaming this particular one, then it's going to be at the date of today, because this will now be like the last modified date, right? So if I modify it now, then the date is going to change to today's date, because this will not be like the last date it was modified. But when this folder was automatically created for me, since this account was created, I've never had any reason to modify the folder. So that's why you're seeing it here. But all recordings are going to be here. Then for the meetings, this is where the agenda, right, is going to be, because it's going to be in Microsoft Loop. So yes, enough of end user parts. We need to, we in this training are not looking at so I think I'm having a bit of ups and downs, but we'll ride on irrespective. So I was mentioning that we know that we are getting ourselves prepared as support engineers, as administrators, and as solutions architects. So we will not stop at looking at the end user part. But the reason why we needed to look at those parts were because as people who are going to be supporting users, we need to know what user experience looks like, just so we'll know when things go wrong and where to resolve issues. For example, the user comes to tell me that he or she cannot see calendar in Teams, then I should be looking at do you have exchange online license, right? Because I know that exchange online license is required for you to have calendar in Sims, right? So, and if it tells me that he's looking for a recording that was scheduled, recording of a meeting that was scheduled from calendar, I would have to definitely know that it is in the OneDrive of the user who scheduled the meeting. And then if it's on the Teams chat, I will have to know. Then for webinars, I know how to set up webinars. I know how to set up the recurrence so that if there is like recurring meetings, so there can be instances where recurring meetings, the person who scheduled the meeting to be recurring has resigned. The recurring meetings still go on. So how do you stop the meeting from popping up after, within those time? Because at that point, the person who scheduled the meeting has left. If you want to add new persons to the meeting, if you're not a meeting organizer, you cannot add new people to that meeting list. And then the person who scheduled the meeting had already gone. And you in the organization, if you are not the meeting organizer, you cannot cancel it. So we have situations like that. Then the point is that how do you cancel the meeting or such a meeting since that the account is no longer in existence? I'm telling you a major issue, right? And it is common because if you want to resign, you will not remember to be canceling all the meetings that you have scheduled, the recurring meetings. You may just overlook that. And when you have left, then it becomes an issue, right? It becomes an issue for you. So you may just want to make sure that you you know how to find a way around this. So the assignment you will give yourself is you created a user. The user scheduled a recurring meeting for maybe daily or weekly, as the case may be. And then the account has been deleted and there was no co-organizer added to the meeting. It's only one organizer and the organizer has left the organization. And you want to cancel the recurrence or cancel the meeting entirely. How do you cancel that? So we have looked at roles and admins in sometime in January, and then we concretize administrators, licensing, difference administrator, and all of that. So if one of the admin roles that can be assigned to user is the Teams administrator role, and the Teams administrator role is assigned to user based on the fact that the user has to manage Teams, right? So if you are a Teams administrator, then when you sign into admin.microsoft.com, it means that in the list of the admin centers, you are going to see Teams, right? Within the list that you have when you click on show all and you come to admin center, you will see Teams here. So the Teams admin center can also be accessed by typing admin.teams.microsoft.com, right? So this is what we have here. So for my experience, I've always mentioned this time I'm loading this admin center. The Teams admin center is the slowest among all the admin centers, even though everything still depends on your internet connection. But if I were simultaneously opening the Teams administrative center and any other admin center, then the Teams admin center will lag backwards in a bit more than any other admin center that I know of. I'm sharing my own personal experience, right? So this is how it seems. So what happens here, right? Whatever happens here in terms of notifications, in terms of whether you want to allow chats, in terms of whether Teams, in terms of calendar, in terms of call, in terms of all these applications that are showing up here is a function of what you have set up from the Teams Administrative Center. So this is like the back end of this one, right? So I may just walk us through a tour around this administrative center. I will just see things around, right? There is nothing really big. I want to stop sharing my screen and share again because of what we may do regarding playing video if it will play for us immediately. So I will just do that now. Okay, so my screen, I'm sharing again. So if you look at the the landing page of most of the admin center, it's about overview or the dashboard, which will just practically give you an idea about the environment that you're working on. So starting in, this is like announcement, starting in May 2025, Skype will no longer be available. Your users won't be able to communicate with Skype users anymore. So Skype for Business Online has gone since 2021. But Skype for Business on-premises is still existing. So people are still able to communicate from Microsoft Teams to Skype for Business on-premises user. So what this is saying is that starting from May, you will no longer be able to communicate with Skype for Business users. So this is saying deploy task status, and then this is just saying self-diagnostics if you want to do authentication devices, external access, files, and just a few things that you may want to check. Apologies for that break. So this is the general landing page of Microsoft Teams, right? So if you scroll down, you just see some organization details, Pillars Cloud Technology Limited, August, when was it created? It was, this tenant was created August 10. So I think this is speaking to that date now. So this tenant was created August 10, but I think I was having issues with my Teams licensing because I was given E5 without Teams. So later I was able to process the Teams. So I see that's maybe why you are seeing 18th in that my folder that questions were coming up. For then the country or region of the tenant is Nigeria. And then just to see more things, this is learn more. This is where you can look at like more content, release notes, so you can see the team's activities. So these are like cards that are giving me information. Then if I want to look at my release notes, I can really look at them. Teams app release notes, right? So and then upgrade to Teams. These are like information that I may want to check out. Chat, Teams, and channel. Then this is very important. Known issues. Manage team settings. It just gives you more info. Then if you want to read, you can read the release notes for Teams in this particular March 27, March 13, February. So it's just coming on. So you can check the release note as per the dates, what and what was released. Then release note for Microsoft Teams admin features. And then you see get started on your upgrade from Skype to business, Skype for business to Microsoft Teams. These are like notes that overview of Teams and channel in Microsoft Teams. So this is like the topic we covered last week, right? So you can see. Expecting that to play video for us. So channel features, right? Org-wide team. If your organization has more than 10,000, so I say 50,000 the other
In this
time.
video, I'll demonstrate how to view and manage users' team memberships in the Microsoft Teams Admin Center. To get started, open the Microsoft Teams Admin Center at admin.teams.microsoft.com. Then select Users, followed by Manage Users. This grid shows a list of active users in your organization. Next, select the user you want to manage, in this case, Adele Vance. Below the tiles at the top of the page, select Teams to see a list of teams the user is a member of. From there, you can select the name of a team to open its management page, or change the user's role. In this case, I'll select Owner to give Adele control of the team. You can also remove the user from a particular team. First, select the team, and then select Remove from this team. In both cases, it can take up to 10 minutes for your changes to take effect. To learn more about using the Microsoft Teams Admin Center to manage users' team memberships, see our documentation on Microsoft Docs.
So you really see how it can be. So just from there, you're already getting trainings, right? So I think this figure I mentioned earlier was wrong. I said 50K, but it's regarding org-wide team, right? Saying if your organization has more than 10,000 users, you can create an org-wide team. Oh, has no more than 10,000 users, you can create an org-wide team. Organization team provide an automatic way for everyone in organization to be part of a single team of collaboration. For more information, including best practice for creating and managing org-wide team, see this. So this 10K is because the maximum number of people you can have in a team is actually 10K from the last time I checked. So if you look at that, you really see that once you have more than 10K, it means that you cannot create an automatic org-wide team for people to get added. So this is just a very nice documentation that if you want to check it out, you have it on the group chat. Okay, so that's just because we are moving from or around the admin center, right? So you can actually click on show more for you to like see a lot of other documents that you may want to look at as a person. So you can really look at the best practice. If Microsoft Teams recommend best practice, configure optimal Teams experience, I think mine is fine. So I don't have any recommended actions. But if you have some things that you're not utilizing, to actually recommend them based on your licenses and your usage. So this is how it is on the dashboard in terms of overview. Then collaboration activity in the tenant is going to show me what's happening at a glance. Channel by user 7 days ago. Then you have that channel with only my user is, so if you do this, is you can see, then this is going to show you there's none. There's channel with my user external. Yeah, that's external. The channel with my users and guests. Then teams by user, you can see I have 4 teams. I actually have my users in external domain activities. Then these are just going to show me like real-time detail. Then the next line of action is the Teams Premium. So beyond you having the Microsoft Teams license, there's what is called Microsoft Teams Premium. So it helps you to save actually an AI powered system. So it helps people save time with AI meeting notes, transcription, and action item, and you get more secure meeting with watermarks. So in terms of watermarks that you want to have on your meetings, you need Teams Premium license, encrypted charts if you want the charts in the meeting to be encrypted, and then recording controls. But for the AI meeting notes and transcription, Copilot can take care of that for you. But in terms of watermarks in Teams meeting and encryption, then you definitely need the what's it called, the Teams Premium license. And the good thing is that you can actually have a trial, right? And I think the last time I checked, Teams Premium was $7 per user per month. So whether you are meeting one-on-one, hosting webinars, or booking virtual appointments, helps make every meeting a perfect fit for all audiences. Select one of the cards below to explore each feature of Teams Premium. Make your meeting more secure, then customize meeting with your branding, right? Then streamline virtual appointments, and then automated virtual event management, work smarter with AI meetings, and monitor usage and adoption. So that's for Teams Premium. Is just an advanced license for that is security concerned, right? Or that is security specific in terms of the encryption. And then in terms of branding too, it is also there to say, okay, you can add your watermark too. your meetings. So, but where I have or we have a lot to do is in teams. Where we have a lot to do is in users. Where we have a lot to do, we also cover Teams devices. What you can also look at in Teams application. So there are a lot here, right? Just after the above stuff that you see. So the point now is, how do we comment? How do we comment? We comment from Teams, and first is manage Teams. We just watched a video where Adele was being managed, right, from users' parts. But for where we want to look at now, we want to see the teams that are available in our environment. So for these tenants, we have all these teams, right, available here. So you can see them. But one thing is that you know that from here, if I go to teams, I can click on add, and then I will say I want to create a team. I will create a team. I'll give it a name. And then here, suddenly, you're also seeing the same feature, right? You can see add, and then I can create a team. Now, what's the difference between this one and this one? This one is end user. This one is administrator, right? So as administrator, I can create a team. So when I'm creating that team, I'll choose whether it is public or private. Of course, you know what that is now, public or private. Then I can give the teams a name. Okay, I can say created from Teams Admin Center, TSC, right? Then who is going to be the owner? I can create a team here without having an owner, right? Let's see what happens. I want to make it a public team. I just apply. Now this team I'm creating, I'm not adding an owner, I'm not adding a member. So I want to see how or what happens, because so at this point, nobody is there, created from Teams Admin Center. But it has one channel, standard channel, and that channel is the general channel. So if I come here and then I cancel, and then I maybe refresh, if I refresh and then come to add or create sim, I will not see that sim here. I will not see created from admin center or from TSC. Oh, so did you know what happened? Is here as created from TSC. Do you know what happened? It automatically added me as an owner of that sim. Let's see. Members. You can see it added me as an owner of the team, because at that time I did not add any owner to it, and I'm happy to see this. I want to create another one now, and I will deliberately add an owner myself. Created from TAC with an owner, and then I want to make Benga an owner of this team. I want to make it public as well. I'll apply. So I'm just waiting for it to do. So what's happening here is it is coming here to create that sim, and it has created it, right? So if I check here now, just waiting for it to refresh, then let's see. So we called it created from CSC with an owner. Okay. So let's see. Created from TSC, I have it. But created from TSC with an owner, I don't have it. And the reason is because I don't have, I'm not a member of it. But let me come here and go to create it, join a team, right? I'm expecting that created from, since it's a public team, I'm expecting it to come up under here for me to join. I'm just waiting for it, and I'm really expecting that. Let me first of all come back to my teams. The point I want to even paint is that you can create a team from the Teams Admin Center without being a member of the team. But if you create from the client portal, you are definitely going to be the owner of that team because you are the one creating it. So I just still want to come back to Teams and then come here to click on Join Team. Okay. I don't have one displaying for me to join yet. And that's just time that is going to affect it. But if I come to created with owner and I go to, it's adding me because this feature was not there, but it's adding me as a member so I can remove myself. If you continue, I will remove this person so I can leave and allow only this guy. So what happens in this case is that what I'm showing you this is before now, when you create this team and you don't add yourself, you are not automatically an owner. There may be some things have changed. But let's say, for example, HR, you've disabled Teams creation for users in your organization, and HR wants you to create a team for her or for him, as the case may be. When you do that, you have to now come back and then create the team, and then you come to manage team. You will see the team you created, right? You can decide to, you can now remove yourself. But I can't remove this last person. Let's see. Oh, so it's even allow me to remove the last person from the team. So what this means is that this team is existing, but without any member. So if I want to add member, I can click on add member. If I want to add owner, I can add owner to the team. But I'm going to show you something real quick. And that is, if I'm adding owners, for example, and I'm adding Solomon. Solomon is also in this tenant. Yes. I'm adding, okay, these two people. And then I'm adding members. I'm adding Oyimafo. I'm adding Paul. Right? And I'm adding them as members. Can you see the difference? I'm adding them as members. I'm adding these people as owners of this team. Now, what I want you to take note of is that if you click on add owner, you remember you are adding like administrator, adding them to manage the team. That's why they are owners. They can add people, remove people, set whether people should be able to delete, edit, all those changes that they. So now, if I click on this for the owners, I can demote this person to member, and I will just do this, right? If I come to demote Solomon to member, you see the error I'm getting up here. A team must have at least one owner. Assign a new owner before changing this person's role. But now look at it. Let me try to remove Solomon. You can see important. Solomon is the only owner of the team. They can't be removed until a new team owner is assigned. Assign another owner, then try again. So this is grayed out for me. But once I'm able to see the double standard I observe here is that I was able to remove everybody from this team. And then because I've come back now to say, okay, remove Solomon. And I'm not sure if you see the double, you see, would I say double standard? The design issues now. So let me make this person an owner. It means that if I make this person an owner, I can remove Solomon, I can remove this person, remove this person. Now I'm going to remove them. Or they are all removed. Let me try to remove this guy. Remove. You can see that this is no longer possible. But when I created a team, I could remove everybody, right? So just be aware of all these ups and downs, and possibly they can form like a very nice write-up for you to state as your observation, as feedback, right? Because now you understand better when I go back to create a new team. Let me come back here, add a team. I'm not just going to give it a nice name. I'm just going to write anything. Now, I'm going to make it this way, and I'm going to just add one person to it, and that should just be Solomon. And Solomon, I'm adding him as, let me add him as a member. So let me just apply without adding anybody. Okay, so I see the point. This is, I'm creating the team. I was not conscious of this. So if I want to be a member of it, I will just, so let me come back, discard. If I click on add, it will always bring this team. Like I'm going to be the owner, the sole owner of this team. If I don't want it, so for the case of HR I mentioned, you need to remove yourself and then maybe bring Solomon, who is like the head of HR, right, as an owner of the team. So I'm going to create this team. I'm not going to be a member of it. Is it going to be a private or public, right? So I need to just give it a description, I mean a name, and then I'll click on apply. Now, what I'm trying to say is now I've added Solomon, right, as the only owner of the team. Now let's go back to that JJ team. It's still loading on. Not that my voice is faster than my screen. I'm just waiting for it. Okay, now that team is created. If I come here now, and then I come here, and I want to remove, I remove, and it's successful. Can you observe? Now hold on, no. Let me add people to it now. I'm adding Solomon as owner, right? Solomon. At this point, I'm adding him, I'm applying it. Now let me try to remove him. You can see I can no longer remove him. But why is it that at that point where I created a team afresh, I was able to add him successfully, and then I was able to remove him as the only person in that team. And now I have come back to add him back, and then I'm now saying remove him, and the system is now complaining that he's the only owner of the team. Was he not the only owner when I removed him? So I feel that there is some form of feedback that should be provided, and this I would just maybe do a video on perhaps today and see what comments people can have about this, and perhaps tag Microsoft to look into what is happening here. So, but the point I'm trying to raise is that you cannot demote the last owner of a team. So if I'm going to add Paul to this, I'm going to add Paul to this, then Paul is added as an owner. I can demote him to member. I don't have issues, right? I can remove him. That's not going to be a problem. But then now Solomon, if I remove Paul, look at it. I'm just going to do remove, and Paul is gone, right? If I come to remove Solomon, I'm not going to be able to do that, which you already know. Now let me add back Solomon as an owner. No, let me add Paul back as an owner. But adding back as an owner, what that means is that I can remove Solomon straight. If I remove Solomon, he's an owner, and because there's an owner standing by, I'll be able to remove him. Now the point is, I can no longer demote Paul to member, because at this point, he's the only owner. Can you see this? He's the only owner of the team. And then if I want to remove him, I will now have that error that says Paul is the only owner of the team. They can't be removed. Now, point is, let me bring up, I just want to wind the system a bit. Let me bring up Solomon again as an owner, right? I'm bringing him up as an owner. Now I want to attempt to remove the two of them, right? Let's see what happens. So it is saying that important Paul and one other, which is Solomon, right, are owners of the selected team. They can't be removed until another team owner is associated to it. But the question is that, why was the system not smart enough when I came here and I created a team and I made Solomon the only owner of that team, of a public or a private team, as the case may be, right? And I apply, I'm not giving it a name. Then I'm giving it a name, and at this point, is the only owner of the team. I'm waiting for it to load and finish. Is the only owner of the team, and then I'm able to remove him from here. And it's out. What it means that this team is existing, it has no owner, it has no member. So if I come here now, I can really come here and then I can edit the team. So I can change the team from public to private, from private to public, right? And then you see those permissions that we could do from here, this, and then that we could do from here, and then manage team, and I came to settings, and then I saw all of these membership permissions, guest settings, and all of this. As an administrator, I don't need to be a member of your team before I can control all of this in a particular team. So even if I'm not a member of a team, like for example, I'm not a member of this JKK, right? But you can see I can do those settings here. Members can delete. So I don't really need to be like a member of a team. This is the power of an administrator before I can do the team's settings. And this is where you can actually flip a team to another team, right? From a team public to private. And then you can even go into a team and create channels. So I want to delete these ones because I just use them for the purpose of that demo, right? So they can go. Now, the point is that this created from TAC with an owner, I hope I was able to clear the point, because the reason why I was automatically the owner was because this was selected. So if I want to remove myself, I can remove myself. But I can't go ahead to create these tenants, these teams without adding a member to it. That is very key, and it's very important that you mention that. Okay. So now this is to discard that. For example, I want to, within that team, same way I could come here, go to a team, come here, and then go to add, no, not add member. We've already seen add member, add channel, right? And then we can create channel, give it a name, the type of channel, which we're already used to. So, excuse me. So we can do that from here too by opening created from with owner, and then I can come to channels, and then I can add channels to it. I can call it the name I want to call it, and then I will still have the same options to create. That is standard, of course, a private or a shared channel, which you already know, right? We can just click, and then channel owner again. It's important that you know that it has to be a member of the team that you can add as a channel owner in terms of a private channel. For shared channel, I can bring somebody from, I think I should be able to do that. Bring somebody from outside to be, can I, the owner of a channel? Nope. So it means that I will have to first of all add myself or add the person to the channel. It's only Benga that is here. I can add myself as a member. Right. Is that my account here? No, that's my external account. This is it, and then I can apply it. So these things, if you watch somebody do them, you will not be able to make like a very nice sense of it. If you do it yourself, then it becomes better for you because you would experience it yourself. So if I come back to channel, I can add channel. I can call it a name. I could bring up a private channel for the owner. I would have been able to do Benga even without adding myself. So what it means that I must not even add myself. I can manage the channel by adding the people within the team to manage the channel. So once I do, it's a private channel. I'll just click on this, and then thing is it's created, right? Then I can add more and more. So for under settings, it's just like where we went to right earlier. For the membership permission, I can decide to do this and then try to turn off, enable users to edit their messages, delete their messages. Team owner can delete sent messages and all of those. As mentioned, the fun stuff, if you want to turn them off or turn them on, you can really do like a lot yourself. So mentions, if you want mentions to be possible, you can really do most of the things and even beyond this. But before you can manage this from here, you must be team owner or the owner of the team. And then that means you must be a member of it. So but from the admin center, you don't need to be a member of a team before you can add member to a team. Now, the question is that I have this channel as is a private channel. Can I change a private channel to a standard channel? Privacy type is private. The answer is no. Can I change a public channel? What's it called? A standard channel. Let's create a standard channel, standard. And then just because of a lazy person that I am, I'll just click anything on my keyboard. So if you look at the privacy, the standard. So let's now see if I'm coming to GGGK, which is oh no, we tried standard, it did not work. So we couldn't change it. Let's also now check if we can change standard channel to private channel. The type is what? Standard. So now to tell you that, but can you change a private SIM to a standard SIM? No, a private SIM to a public SIM. Let's see. Let's come back to manage SIMs, right? And then this is a no, hold on. Private, hold on. Oh, yeah, the SIM type is public SIM, right? Private SIM. Can we change it to private? Yes, we can. Private. Can we change private SIM to become public? This is private SIM. Edit. Yes, we can. Can we change private channel to a standard channel? No, we can't. Can we change? So what it means is that you cannot change the privacy of a channel, but can change the privacy of a team. Very important. So I'll take note of that there, of here. So I can think I'll pick this one closer. Let me pick this closer, please. You can change. I hope you're taking note of these small things. You can change the privacy of a team from private to public, vice versa. That to spell vice versa. Bots cannot change the privacy of Teams channel. So these are points that are supposed to be noted, like really supposed to be noted, because while you practice, right, it is important that some facts you should know, honestly. And I'm going to take a screenshot of this and put that in the charts, because these are facts that we have all verified. These are facts that we've all verified. So that is how it works. So that is when we speak to managing teams. Okay. So again, I must mention something, and it's about archive. So for teams that the actions, no, not actions, the activities are now low, right? They are now low. So you can decide to just put it on archive. So what it means that archiving a team freezes all team activity, but you and team owner can still manage the team members and update role. You can unarchive team at any time. Make this SharePoint site read only for team members. Now let me explain to you. For every team that you create, it creates a corresponding SharePoint site. For example, this guy created from teams. So who is the owner of this site? Let me just check. Or who is a member at all? So you can see how to check the member. I am a member. So what it means, I created from Teams Admin Center as an owner. I'm going to be able to see this within Teams here. Right. So if I come here now, I'll be able to open the SharePoint sites. So by coming to files, so I can either come through this or I can go through SharePoint. But I want us to stick to Teams for now. So if I click on open in SharePoint, I have opened the corresponding SharePoint site of that team, right? So what this means is that I can upload documents to the general channel from here, file upload. If I go to this one and I'll bring it up. So once this uploads here, right, I will also be able to see it in Teams here now. I'll just come here and then I'll go back, created from Teams with owner, come back to general. If I come to files, I'll be able to see that document here. It was updated in a few seconds, about modified a few seconds ago. So why am I bringing you here? It's because of the archive that we're talking about. So if I come to manage teams, and then I want to talk about archiving a team. I can say I want to archive it, and then what happens is that if you archive it, archiving a team freezes all activity. There's nothing they can do in Teams. They can't chat, they can't do anything. It's just practically dormant, right? But you and team owner can still manage the team members. So you can still add people to the team. You can still remove people from the archive team. You can unarchive the team at any time, right? Now, if you also wanted that the SharePoint site, which is like this, it should just be read only. That is, people should not be able to upload any file. They should only be able to read what is currently there. Then you can check this box and click on archive, right? So that thing is now archived. And then what it means is that activities on that theme is going to not be available. Now, the assignment I'm quickly giving you is that how do you unarchive a theme? It will still be listed here, right? But you can see this is showing archived. So what it means is that created from TSC now, created from TSC, if I come back to this place and I come to check created from TSC, so what's practically going to happen is that this is the one with admin center. So just so anyone that we see among them, we can just use, I want to just do created from TSC. I want to archive this one too, right? So what this means is that those two teams are going to be available here, but they're both archived, created from TSC. Look at it. It's archiving, so the process is on. So it has been archived. So what it means is that activities, ideally activities here created from TSC, where you have a lot of teams that I just need to so the question is, am I supposed to be able to still see it here? Right. So this ABC employee onboarding, let's also archive it and see. I think my assignment is coming out very well. Employee onboarding, let's archive this. Okay, so let's come back to Teams. Just trying to check something. You can see that I can no longer see. I can no longer see this. I can see what Solomon is writing. Now the question or the assignment that we would have to go and dig now, and you too would have to go and look for is, if you were just an end user and you are a Teams owner, remember when we are archiving the team, it gave us a warning to say that it's archiving a team freezes all activities, but you who is an administrator, because it's still here, and team owner can manage the team member and updates. So you can archive you can unarchive teams at any time. Of course, I can come here, created from Teams TSC, and I can say, okay, I want to unarchive it, and then I'll unarchive. So I would expect to see this now. But the question now is, what if you do not have access to the admin center? Where are you supposed to see the archived teams, right? Because you see that you can still, as an end user, you should still be able to add people or maintain the membership or manage the membership of the archived team. So where are you going to see the archived team, right? That was for you to be able to unarchive them, as the case may be. I can see this again, created from Teams owner. So the answer is not far from us, perhaps, but we'll have to go and dig deep and find out where those other teams are hiding. So that is for under managed team. I'm thinking if there is any other thing that we want to know. To delete a team, of course, same thing as deleted groups. The group will just be, so let me just see if I can delete one here, CMCC match. Just want to do this, delete this one. So I said you can delete multiple teams, right? So you can delete them. So if you delete, then it's going to be under deleted groups in your M365. Two teams were deleted, go to actions. So this is how you can delete teams. Apart from that, what else do we need to do? Renew. What is renew? So renew is not even coming up. I guess I don't even know what that even does. So that is it on managed team. So the next time we're going to meet, we'll be looking at Teams settings, templates, and all of those. So we'll take it easy, and this is going to take us till the end of April. So we'll spend the whole of April here, and in May, we'll be having our attention shifting to security. So that will be all for today, and our assignment should not be forgotten. Let us go and check where the archived team are actually getting, or where they can be accessed by the end user. Already we know where the admin can access those. So thank you. It's time for questions if there is any.